and my Elle tried to ruin my reputation because I left her out of my wedding. So, my wife exposed the truth. I'm 31, male, and about 6 months ago, I thought I had my life together. I proposed to my fiancée Elle after 3 years of dating, and we were deep in wedding planning. I loved her more than anything, and for the most part, we agreed on how we wanted our wedding. The problem was her mother, Kate. From day one, Kate made it clear she was going to have a say in every damn thing. Now Elle is sweet, non-confrontational, always trying to make peace. Me? I'm not one to tolerate people stepping over the line. We picked this beautiful, intimate barn for the wedding. Rustic, perfect for the kind of laid-back vibe we were going for. We paid the deposit, and everything was set. Kate, on the other hand, wanted this pretentious country club. It's more fitting, she said, like we were planning some royal gala instead of, our wedding. One night, Kate cornered us during dinner. Elle was doing that thing where she tried to diffuse the situation by being nice, but it wasn't working. Kate straight up says, "I've spoken to the owner of the country club, and they're holding the date for you. I'll cover the cost, so you don't have to worry about that." I stared at her. "We already have a venue, Kate," she said with this condescending smile that made my skin crawl. "Well, it's not too late to change it. I mean, that barn's a bit plain, don't you think?" Elle squeezed my hand under the table. I knew she wanted me to let it go, but I wasn't going to bend on this. "We're not changing it. The barn's what we want." Kate looked like she was going to push it further, but Elle cut in with a soft, "Mom, please. We love the barn." Kate didn't say much after that, but I knew it wasn't over. She wasn't the type to just let it go. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, Kate became relentless. She made it her mission to take control of every little detail. She hijacked our guest list, calling up family members to invite them without checking with us first. Then came the invitations. Elle and I had spent an entire weekend picking out these simple, beautiful cards. We hand-addressed every single one. A few days after we sent them, I got a call from Kate. "I don't want to alarm you, but the invitations are terrible." "I mean, really? That plain font? People are going to think it's for a backyard barbecue." I barely held back my frustration. "They're fine, Kate. We picked them because we like them." "Well, I took the liberty of getting them redone," she said like she was doing us some huge favor. "Don't worry, I've already sent them out." I was speechless. She'd reprinted and sent out entirely different invitations without telling us. I hung up the phone, fuming, and when I told Elle, she broke down in tears. She felt caught between wanting to stand up for herself and not wanting to upset her mother. But that moment was when I realized something. Kate wasn't just trying to control the wedding. She was trying to control us. So Elle and I made a decision. We started planning a little surprise. We kept everything with the wedding as is to keep Kate happy on the surface. But behind the scenes, we changed the location of the ceremony. We decided we'd have it at a private spot with only our closest friends and family. The reception would still be at the barn, but the actual wedding? Kate wouldn't be there. The day of the wedding came, and Kate was in full dictator mode, barking orders and making sure everything was perfect. She didn't even notice that a lot of the guests were missing during the setup. It wasn't until halfway through the reception that she realized something was off. "Where's the rest of the family?" she asked, her voice sharp, like she was talking to a couple of kids who forgot their homework. "They'll be here soon," I said, trying not to smirk. Elle stood beside me, looking calm, probably the calmest I'd seen her in weeks. "Mom, we already had the ceremony. It was just close friends." Kate's face went pale. You? You what?" "We had a private ceremony," I said, finally feeling a sense of peace. "It's what we wanted." Kate stared at us like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. "You mean to tell me you had a wedding without me?" Her voice was so loud. I swear half the barn stopped what they were doing to listen. Elle took a deep breath. "Mom, this isn't about you. This is about me, and we're done letting you dictate what we do." I watched as Kate's face contorted from disbelief to anger. She looked like she was about to explode. "You, ungrateful." She stopped herself, taking a deep breath, probably realizing she was making a scene. She stormed off, but not before throwing the last icy glare at both of us. She stayed for the rest of the reception, but she didn't talk to us. Honestly, I didn't care. We had taken our day back, and that was all that mattered. But I was to think that was the end of it. A few weeks after the wedding, I got a call from my boss. He's usually pretty hands-off, so I was surprised when he asked me to come to his office for a chat. I walked in, sat down, and he dropped this on me. I got a weird call from someone claiming to be your mother-in-law, saying you're unstable, causing problems in the family. She implied I should reconsider your position here. I was stunned. Kate had actually tried to get me fired. Luckily, my boss didn't buy it. He knew me, knew my work ethic, and frankly thought the whole thing was absurd. But still, the fact that she had even attempted that? I was livid. When I told Elle, she was horrified. She'd always known her mom could be overbearing. But this was a new level of crazy. And it wasn't just me she was going after. She started spreading rumors around town, telling people I'd forced Elle into having a private ceremony, that I was controlling her. Even some of her family started questioning what had happened. I couldn't go anywhere without people giving us weird looks, like I was some kind of manipulative asshole who had isolated his wife from her own family. Then Elle's best friend mentioned something that really pushed us over the edge. Kate had been telling people that Elle was pregnant, and that's why we had to rush the wedding. Total lie. But Kate knew exactly what she was doing. She was spreading just enough gossip to make people think there was some shady reason behind the wedding. I looked at Elle after that, and she was fuming. I can't take this anymore, she said, her voice shaking. She's not just going after you. She's going after both of us. I'm done. She called for a family meeting. I didn't even know what she had planned, but I trusted her. We all gathered at Elle's parents' house. Kate, her dad, a few of her aunts, and some cousins who had started buying into Kate's bullshit. Kate sat there, smug as hell, like she thought this was going to be her big "I told you so" moment. Elle stood up, calm but firm, and said she needed to clear the air. She pulled out her phone and hit play. A recording of one of Kate's calls played out in front of everyone, loud and clear. "You don't worry. I'm going to make sure he regrets what he did. I'll ruin his reputation. He thinks he can exclude me from my own daughter's wedding? He'll lose his job over this, mark my words." The room went dead silent. Kate looked like she'd seen a ghost. "What the hell is this?" her brother asked, glaring at Kate. "This is the truth," Elle said, her voice steady. "This is what she's been doing behind our backs. She's been lying to you all. She's been trying to destroy my marriage and ruin my husband's life because she couldn't control our wedding." Kate sputtered, "I was just trying to protect you." "No, Mom," Elle shot back. "You were trying to control me. You've always tried to control me. And now you're pissed because I finally stood up to you." Kate tried to defend herself, saying something about how she only wanted what was best for us, but no one was buying it. Her own family, who'd been listening to her side for weeks, now saw her for what she was, a manipulative, entitled woman who couldn't handle not getting her way. Elle's dad just sat there, staring at the floor. Her aunts looked at each other in disbelief. No one said a word to Kate after that. Elle stood up, grabbed my hand, and said, "I love you, Mom. But if you keep doing this, if you keep trying to hurt the people I love, you're not going to be a part of my life anymore." Kate didn't say a damn thing. She knew she'd been exposed. We walked out of there, and for the first time in what felt like forever, I felt free. Kate tried reaching out a few times after that, but Elle was done. She wasn't going to let her mother poison our marriage any more than she already had. The calls, the texts, the random messages from mutual family members, they all got the same response from Elle. Silence. It wasn't easy, though. I could see how much it hurt Elle to cut her mom out. She'd grown up thinking she had to keep the peace, to keep her mom happy, even at her own expense. But after the wedding, after everything Kate had done to sabotage us, it became clear to Elle that there was no peace to keep. Not when her mother was constantly trying to tear us apart. A few months later, at another family gathering, Kate showed up uninvited. Elle had already told everyone we weren't speaking to her, but Kate walked in anyway, acting like nothing had happened. She came right up to us and said in front of everyone, "Are we really going to keep doing this? You're going to ignore your own mother?" Elle didn't flinch. "Mom, you tried to ruin my husband's life. You tried to destroy our marriage because you couldn't stand not being in control. I've given you enough chances. I'm not playing this game anymore." Kate's face twisted into that same entitled expression she always wore when she didn't get her way. "I did what I had to do because you're making the biggest mistake of your life. He's turning you against your own family." Elle didn't back down. "No, Mom. You're the one turning me against my family, and you're losing me because of it." The rest of the room went quiet, like they were waiting for the explosion. Kate stood there, her lips pressed into a thin line, trying to figure out what to say next. She finally scoffed, turned around, and stormed out. The door slammed behind her, and that was that. It's been quiet since then. Some of Elle's extended family reached out to us, apologizing for believing my mother-in-law's lies. I think seeing her unravel like that, exposed in front of everyone, made them realize just how manipulative she had been all along. Elle's been working through her feelings. There are still moments when the loss of that mother-daughter relationship hits her hard. But we've built something better. We've built boundaries, respect, and a marriage where we're truly partners. Kate, she's still out there, playing the victim card with anyone who will listen. But the difference now is no one's buying it. Her own daughter exposed her, and the people who matter in our lives know the truth. So to anyone dealing with a controlling, entitled family member, know this. You don't have to put up with their crap. Set boundaries, stand your ground, and protect the people you love. At the end of the day, it's your life, and you don't owe anyone control over it. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them, so please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.